Alright, so I don't usually make videos covering the challenge quest for events, but I've been seeing a lot of people kind of complain about it in my Discord or on stream, saying that like it's really hard or they're having a really hard time beating some of these events. And unfortunately, I think it's a lot easier than a lot of people are making it out to be, but I was like, you know what, let me just like make a whole video instead of like continually talking about it on streamer. Like I keep seeing people answer questions in the Discord, which, hey, if you need help on FGO, the Discord people are always there. But I'm like, you know, let me just make it easier for everybody else. Let me just make the video on this one because it's way easier than people are making it out to be. Like this event in particular makes it really easy to crush these challenge quests. And if you're like someone like me who always, well, not right now, but usually I'm always in, you know, a QP deficit. It's really nice. You can get 10 million QP for this one, and you can get double lures, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to give you guys the sauce in today's video, although it's pretty easy, right? Like I don't think it's actually all that hard, even if your box is a little newer or more limited. But again, if you enjoy daily FGO content, make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, I stream every weekday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on my Twitch. You can peep that in the description down below. That little intro aside, let's move into this. So first and foremost, one of the things you got to understand with this event is that, well, yeah, some of these bosses can be really annoying because you look at MHXX, it's actually surprisingly hard to kind of take advantage of the stuff she's doing, because it's like, oh, she's got like the dragon trait, but you're not going to bring Sigurd to this fight, right? You're not going to bring someone like that, especially because if you bring any Sabers, they're going to get slammed. And actually, spoiler alert, everybody's going to be a Saber in this fight, and they're going to be like these threat against humanity people. So she's going to have like full damage mod against everybody, basically meaning she's going to obliterate them while she's also taunting them and stunning them and just locking people down, basically just chopping all of your servants, just obliterating them, NPing every single turn. She has a Pierce invincibility skill and an invul skill. It could seem like a lot, right? Because it's like, oh man, do I have to like take advantage of her being like a female servant? Do I have to take advantage of like her Arthur trait or something? Do I gotta bring Mordred to take her down? It's like, no, you don't have to do any of that, okay? Like Saber Wars 2, the reason I say that like some of these are like really easy is that, for one, you have really strong servants over on the event damage bonus. Like for instance, if you have Space Ishtar or MHXX, you're gonna kind of just cook these fights because you can just bring XX to beat the XX, or you could just bring Space Ishtar to cook up the Knights of the Round Table fight, right? Like they do a really good job. But even then, even outside of this, you could just take any servant that like maybe you've got them like NP3, like maybe you've got a really OP Sanzo. Your Sanzo's like NP5, she's dummy nutty OP. The good thing about this event is that not only do you have a damage mod CE, but you have another CE that gives everybody else more damage mod, and so you could just load up on those CEs and then just obliterate these people. Will you get bad RNG sometimes? Yeah, but it shouldn't take you more than a couple of tries, because literally this fight is just punch her like 2 to 3 times and she'll probably get obliterated, right? Like the first health bar is pretty much guaranteed. You're gonna smack that and she's probably just gonna get obliterated, right? The second bar, maybe it'll take you like 2 to 3, maybe maximum, right? And it's like, oh man, but she's really bopping people with this. But it's like, well, if you've got like solemn defense from Castoria, you're absolutely fine. If you have defense, or not defense, but like invincibility, there's a chance she doesn't pop her Pierce invincibility skill. There's a little bit of RNG to it. All of these are mobile games. Sometimes you get good RNG, sometimes you get bad RNG for CQs, but it's really just smack her really hard before she smacks you and like slowly starts taking out some of your guys, right? So that's kind of the point, right? So that's why she's NPing every single turn. She's giving herself like double damage mod against everybody. She's locking one person down, but also keep in mind, it's not even that bad because it's removable, and you should have the Atlas Academy uniform. So if your DPS gets stopped once, you know, you can just remove the stun because it's not an unremovable stun. So realistically, you just kind of run up on her with like any of your single target servants, preferably somebody that has Pierce invincibility, because again, MHXX does have an invincibility skill and can get really annoying if she starts popping that when you're about to win or something. Bring someone like that and you'll just cook, right? You'll take her out. Just bring like preferably one of like the damage bonus people here. I mean, if you've got Sigurd, even though I was kind of memeing and being like, you're not gonna bring Sigurd, you could, right? You could bring Sigurd and then just probably one-shot this second bar with all the damage mods he's gonna get with like the event CEs as well, and probably just obliterate her, but anybody will do the trick, right? You could pretty much bring whoever you want and probably cook up this fight. It can be a little annoying, it can be frustrating if you have a couple of runs where you your guy just keeps getting stunned. But again, you do have those servants, for instance, like Sansa, that give everybody debuff immunity. You can give people like that and kind of try to get around some of those annoying things that the bosses are doing. Now, for this one down here, this one, they're just all really tanky. The one that I found that just works out really well is just bring a strong AoE like Zerk, or a strong AoE extra class servant, or someone that's just neutral, so you don't have to deal with like, oh, well, I brought the Lancer, but now there's a bunch of Sabers, and they're just chopping away at the Lancer guy. I brought an Archer, and now they're getting destroyed by Gareth over here. You know, just bring, preferably if you've got Space Ishtar, she'll cook it up. But I personally did it with Berserker Musashi, right? I just brought her with double cast Toria, loaded up on the buffs, and then just kept chopping away, especially because, again, Berserker Musashi has Pierce Invincibility, and I believe Tristan is this one, and he has like an AoE party dodge that he can give everybody, so he just, or she, my bad, she just gets right around all of that, just being able to pierce invincibility. It's really just a matter of like, yeah, if you're trying to take these on without like any of the event CEs, it's going to be really difficult, because these guys are going to be like super thick. They're going to be like really hard to take down. But if you're taking advantage of the CEs and you're kind of like doing these towards the end, once you've kind of finished up your farming, and by the way, we still have like 5 days left, or 4 when this video goes up, so you still have a lot of time to like catch up to the event if you're behind, grab the CEs you need, and then go clap these guys up, because this is also kind of a PSA to go do these, right? You're gonna want all of these lures, even if you're feeling like you're good. You're like, yeah, bro, I've got like 30 lures, I'm gonna be okay. It's gonna be like, no, dude, because when you start thinking about that you need 3 lures per servant, and there's an insane amount of really cool servants coming out this year. I mean, even with just Lost Belt 6 stuff, you've got like Morgan, Balabon Sith if you're interested in that, Vargas if you're interested in her, Melusine, Koyenskaya, Oberon. Like you're already starting to kind of build up on a lot of servants, right? You're already starting to build up quite a few people, and that's just in like that one like 2-month range, right? Much less the rest of the year. And so it's like you're gonna want to get all of these when you can, and getting 2 lures is very strong. And again, if you're a newer player, that 10 million QP can definitely help you out. And I know a lot of people have been pulling for Space Ishtar, and again, people are like, oh, this fight is so annoying, it's so annoying to get through. But it's like, dude, it'll be fine. Like, trust me, like, you bring your Space Ishtar if you pulled her, you slap on all the event damage bonus things, and you go in there and you cook them up, and it's not that bad, right? You just get in there and you just destroy them, right? Otherwise, you just start bringing whatever other like just good AoE servant you have, because it's a little annoying trying to do this like person by person, like just trying to be like, okay, I use Vlad to take down Tristan over here, then I used him to take down Gareth, and then I moved to take down Lancelot, right? Like just trying to like take him down one-on-one, it's gonna take too long, right? It's gonna be too annoying, it's gonna take too long, and no one's having a good time at that. But all right, hopefully this kind of helped you guys out. It gave you guys a little bit more peace of mind or something if you were like really stressing about it, because I know that also has like a domino effect, that like one person has a really hard time with it, or they have a couple of bad runs, so they think it's like harder than it is, and then someone else hears that and then they get like too terrified to take it on because they're like, oh, what? I don't know if I could take that on, it's too strong. It's like, no, dude. Just remember that Saber Wars 2, they were just absolute saints and gave us so many of these like damage mods that you could just stack up all over the place, that you could just walk in here and you could crush these as long as you're, you know, kind of set up pretty decently with these CEs. But hope it helped you guys out. If you guys have any other questions about like who you should bring or something, again, my Discord is linked down in the description down below. We have a very like robust FGO channel, so if you go in there and you're like, hey man, here are like my single target quick servants, I only have Scotty, someone will be like, oh, your best bet is, well, you don't have anybody with Pierce Invil, but MHXX Alter will do really good work. Well, she's a bad example because this is a foreigner, but you get what I'm saying. Somebody will give you some advice. If I can't do it myself, somebody can definitely help you out in there. But with all that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace, late, guys.